All right, guys. So I have another tutorial for you guys when it comes to Google Docs and Google Classroom, right? And so this is what to do after your students have filled out a Google form, right? So after a Google form, you're going to see that they have issued responses, right? And so whereas this is how you edit your Google form, here is where you're actually going to see um, you know, your students' progress now. So I haven't actually started grading this one because it's short response. You have to manually grade these if you didn't put in an answer key. I didn't put in an answer key because these are sort of long response questions, not sure how the students are going to respond. There's no single word or word bank kind of answer for these questions. So you have to go through and manually grade these, right? This is sort of the opposite of what I showed in the other video, which is how to make a self-grading Google form that has an answer key and assigns points right away, right? So if you prefer to do short answer, if you prefer to let your students express themselves, this is how we're going to go ahead and grade these. So the easiest way by far is to go question by question. We're going to go to question number 1, right? A situation, right? And so in this case, the student wrote a lengthy answer. And so, yeah, okay, they seem to know the difference between liberalism and conservatism, right? You just mark it correct. If a student has it incorrect or they don't know, or whatever the case may be for that question, you can always mark it wrong. And then afterward, you'd hit save down here. Now, I'm not going to bore you by grading this whole thing. I'm going to go ahead and jump to a Google form that's already been graded by my wonderful Google form answer key, right? So that way I can show you how to upload this Google Forms responses into SIS, right? So we're going to look here. And so here you can see the whole, you're running the gamut, right? You have some very high scoring students. You have some very low scoring students, and most of the responses sit somewhere here in the middle, right? And so since this one grades itself because it's all multiple choice questions, right, we can see here in Google Forms, it's really nice because it lets us know which questions a student got wrong, right? And so we can see that, ooh, this one, the majority of students got this right, right? And so this can be a great way to sort of analyze questions, see what you have to go over in class if you're assigning these for homework, right? And so since this is already graded, we're going to skip the boring stuff and go straight to how to import it into SIS, right? And so for this one, I always go ahead and as the Google form loads, I minimize the name column because I really don't need the name. I have my Google Forms set up so the only 2 columns I really need are the score and the student number, right? And so if you look, some of these, because I've already looked at this Google spreadsheet before, right? Some of these are in standard notation. The rest of them, however, are in this sort of fraction. So we're going to select column C. We're going to hit number, and we're going to hit automatic. So as you can see, now all our numerals are in standard notation, right? And so the other column that we need to look at is column E, which is your student number, right? They don't need the S. In fact, the S screws up SIS. SIS, for whatever reason, cannot read the S. So we want to make sure that we are S-free before we are ready to go, right? So as you can see, we have our scores in this column, our student number in this column, and what we are going to do is we're going to download as a comma separated values or CSV file, right? This is the file that you want. This is the file that you need in order to upload this into SIS. And this is going to make your life easier, right? Because once you get the hang of this, what used to take you hours to put in terms of grades can be done in minutes online with these CSV files, right? So we're going to go ahead and download it. Yes, week 20, Rosie the Riveter responses. Sure, it doesn't really matter what you save it as, whatever helps you find it, right? So here we are in SIS. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to enter in our homework, Rosie the Riveter. Right? We're going to assign 10 points because that's what the homework was worth. And we are going to assign it in the homework category, right? And so this is going to look different for all your students. This is going to look different depending on how you have your grading category set up, right? But however you have it set up, you can tailor it to your own needs. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to save this just the way it is, right? So we haven't put anything in yet. This is where the magic comes. You come over here, you hit the little I, right? And so nothing really has changed. But what you do is you hit import CSV file, right? And so this screen's going to come up. You're going to pick your file. In this case, look, Rosie the Riveter, right there on front, right? It's a point value. Some of you guys might do percentage values. I like to use points values. So this is a 10-point thing. And so our student IDs, if we remember, were in column E, which is the 5th column. And our score column was in column C, which was the 3rd column. We hit upload, and this is the magic, guys. I don't have to do anything else except put in the zeros for those who didn't do their work. And so you look, and all my students who completed their work, which is not many, get their points allotted to them, and that's that. My 4th period also did this assignment. They were also my US history class, and I had a lot more kids in that class finish the assignment. But that's the basics on how you enter in Google form into SIS. Hope you guys found this interesting. Please like and subscribe for more tutorials, and I'll see you guys next time.